And we're back for another fun episode of Rooted and Reason. So Ryan, I just want to ask you the question. Give me your first reaction. Your friend comes up to you in church and says, "Oh man, I'm thinking about naming my daughter Jezebel." What do you say?
Dude, it's about time. I feel like people have been hating on this name for a long time. I think it's time. I think it's time we redeem Jezebel.
did you did
I'm
you
only joking.
yeah, I'm surprised.
The name
Would you have
needs
said,
some
"Oh man,
serious
I thought I was going
redemption.
to use that."
No,
Serious
you know
redemption.
what? I, I have a little story. So when I was a student at Bible school, I was newly saved. I didn't really know much of anything about Jezebel. I don't even think I read any of the things that she did to Israel. And so I was in the kitchen. I was at a very small Bible school, maybe like 10 students over in Wisconsin. And I was just talking to another classmate, and the pastor happened to be in the kitchen. And I just mentioned, uh, we were just talking about, I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I said, I don't understand why no one names their daughter Jezebel. Like, I really think it's a very pretty name. And my pastor just turned around and looked at me and just, the kind of look somebody gives you and they just think you're just out of your mind. So that was pretty much the look. And I just looked at him like, what? Like, aside from all of the atrocities and all of the things that she did, let's,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
not let's not bring that in. The name, that's what I told him. The name itself, it's really not that bad of a name.
yeah.
It's Am I wrong though? Like if nobody knew about who Jezebel was,
You mean it
what she
because it sounds
did,
pretty?
is it wrong to say
Yeah.
that it sounds pretty? I mean, you can we can talk about, I mean, if there's anyone named Delilah, I'm not trying, I'm just
I was
trying to
gonna get to
use,
Delilah next. Yeah.
yeah, use that as a comparison. She was nearly not even close to where Jezebel was and what she did. But still, Delilah did some stuff, did some seducing, and I mean, I don't know if I would name my daughter Delilah because of the history that comes with her in her name.
So
So
before I get to some of the scriptures here, just to take a look at why we might not name our kids Jezebel. Do you know anyone named Judas?
I don't know anybody named Judas. No.
You know what's interesting that there were other Judases, plenty of other Judas, because there were two Judases in Jesus's group,
Hmm.
and there were other Judases mentioned in the book of
That's right.
Acts, and nobody names his kid Judas anymore. And I guess it's not as pretty.
Anymore?
Judas Bell.
Was there ever somebody named Judas though? Like you said, anymore. Was there ever? Maybe
Well,
if I
Judas was named
Google it.
Judas, right?
Yeah, and it was probably a popular name back then during those times, first century
I bet it was.
Judea and Israel. Yeah, I don't know,
Uh,
man.
well, let's pop in and see what Nameberry has to say about this. So I love this. I found this by Grace
Not
Royal. I can pronounce her
exalted.
name real good. Yeah. So the name Jezebel, the girl's name in the Hebrew, simple
Yeah.
meaning. Like, let me make this bigger. Means not exalted, right? We're gonna look this up in Strong's in a second here. But it says, I love this. Oh man, this is good. This is so, I'm just gonna preface this by saying I read this and I loved it. Jezebel, the wife of King Ahab, which is true in the Hebrew book of Kings, has long been had a bad girl reputation. Oh, just a
Bad
bad girl, right?
girl.
Bad girl.
Okay, yeah,
Not
yeah.
so bad, not so bad. But in the modern secular world, this is somewhat mitigated by the feminist perspective of her as a strong woman the power behind the throne,
Interesting.
previously avoided as a name. Jezebel is now, along with the previous name, avoided. Delilah and Desiree. I don't know about anything about those.
Hmm.
But all right, so I love this because the key words. This name is mitigated now. How is it mitigated? By feminism. Really? I mean, listen. If this is what feminism is giving us, mitigating terrible, terrible names, terrible
Hmm.
people, then I don't think I want it. Honestly. All right. So moving on. So let's see what Strong has to say about this name. I looked it up. Jezebel. All right. Let's pronounce it. Let's pronounce it properly. Isabel.
Oh, oh, really? Oh, wow. My mom's name was Isabel.
I guess it's close, right?
Ah,
Isabel, but it's
Isabel.
probably not
Yeah.
Isabel. So
Yeah.
it's a word. It's derived from Hebrew words meaning not and meaning exalted or dignified. So she's right about that. But I think that there's a qualifier at the end of this because this guy gives some cultural and historical background, basically saying that it could also mean she was introduced to worship of Baal, right? So it could also
Mm.
probably have to do with Baal. It could be Baal in her name, and they say not exalted instead. So, I mean, it's definitely not like, why would you want to name your daughter not exalted? I guess it sounds pretty.
Yeah, I had that. I was just thinking about that. Do the parents, are they aware of the meaning of the name when they first name their child, or do they? How does that happen? Because like you think of a name, and you're like, you know what? Let's name her Jezebel, meaning not exalted.
I gotta admit, I do
Like, how
ask.
does that
I
work?
hear a lot of nice names, and I always ask. I love to ask, what does that name mean? And I have to be honest, a lot of parents don't know what the name they named their child
Hmm.
was. It's like getting a Japanese tattoo, and I've seen some wild Japanese tattoos.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
that's like getting a Japanese tattoo and being like, "What is that?" And like, I don't know. The guy at the tattoo shop said it was this. Okay. you know,
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
Not to hate on people's naming schemes. You could name your kid what you want. There's nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But I will have an opinion on it, as everyone does. But so this is Jezebel is such a bad name because of this, right? Jezebel was such a wicked person that even in this, in Revelation 2:20, God still talks about Jezebel because now it's a spirit, right? And talking about, he says, now that I have this against you to the church, right?
Mm.
You still tolerate that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophetess, and is teaching and seducing my servants to practice sexual immorality and to eat food and to sacrifice to idols. So, I mean, I'm willing to guess that this,
You think hmm,
yeah, I'm willing to
you
guess that
think
this
it's a
admonition,
you
yeah,
think it's a spirit? Like when
I,
someone says,
I'm
"Yo, she got the spirit of Jezebel."
I am willing to bet that this is not a woman's literal name, Jezebel. That this person wasn't actually named Jezebel, because I'm pretty sure Hebrews wouldn't want to name their daughter Jezebel anymore.
No, no, but I'm saying
Uh,
like even now,
well, I mean, she
we
wasn't.
hear
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we hear that a lot
yeah. Go ahead.
amongst some believers, or when they'll talk about like, yeah, man, you got to stay away from, she's got the spirit of Jezebel. Um you think though that there's an actual you can have an actual spirit of Jezebel?
That's a good question. I don't think so. All right, so this isn't like you went to a soothsayer or something, or medium, and some spirit came upon you. It was the spirit of the actual person. I do think that it's definitely a demonic, some sort of demonic possession or some sort of demonic influence in the same vein as perhaps the same spirit that embodied Jezebel, or
Or
possessed Jezebel.
maybe we just use it too loosely. Like
That's
if
also it's
right?
everything like that. Of course, of course.
Like to basically identify somebody so loosely like that. Yo, she got a spirit of Jezebel, bro. You gotta steer clear. Um,
But to be fair, Revelation 2:20 is God talking is, and he's probably not using it loosely. I'm sure he's probably
No,
using it in the most authentic way possible.
I think it's the way it's used now. I feel like it's just kind of it's tossed around a bit too much. It's I don't know, watered down a bit. Um, and maybe I should clarify. I
Wait,
don't
do
think
you
we
mean to
should.
say that it's mitigated now?
I just want to say I don't think because I feel like I need to clarify from what I
Yeah,
said in the beginning of the show. I don't think we should name our kids Jezebel,
right.
but I do. I think that you shouldn't be ostracized. You shouldn't be treated like a monster if you think it's a pretty name. That's it.
Well, I just want to throw this out there though that Jezebel, I mean, she was he couldn't get more bad than Jezebel, right? Because she instructed, so she married King Ahab, right? And so
Is it a
she
pretty name,
instructed.
Michael? Tell me.
Was that?
Is
Was that?
do you think it's a pretty name?
I guess it sounds pretty like
Just be honest,
Lizabel
bro.
or something. Yeah, like Lizabel. But the
Okay.
difference is like she led Israel to worship Baal, and then she murdered all the Israel prophets who didn't, right? And she went after Elijah, and she must have been pretty frightening because Elijah
She
ran
was
from her
pretty
too.
grimy. Yeah, yeah.
She was pretty grimy, and she died a crazy death because she
Yeah, that
fell
was wild.
and dogs ate everything but what her hands and her feet or something like that, and
Something like
it was
that, yeah.
just yeah, and it was but nothing about this lady is mitigatable. Like there's no redeeming quality. Feminism could try their best. Feminism could
Yeah,
try its
yeah, yeah.
best, but I don't think feminism, this is what you guys should be doing. you know but comparatively to Delilah, okay, so Delilah, the girl's name in Hebrew origin means delicate. Okay, you know, is cut itself mostly free. Mostly, I like it says mostly free from its treacherous past to become a contemporary favorite. All right, so let's look at Strong's real quick.
Hmm.
Delilah. Okay,
Delilah.
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 That's
Okay.
totally not. That's not the same, dude. Not the same. Delilah, Delilah. Not. Why didn't we just keep Delilah? Why do we have to go with Delilah?
Delilah.
Bro, you gotta name your daughter Delilah. Anyway, yeah. So word origin, it means to be low, to hang down, to be feeble. Okay. So all right.
Wow, bro. So she's lowly and humble.
I guess
That's a
so.
sick one.
Delicate. How we get from delicate to hang down and feeble? I don't know. I don't know, man. But I get maybe Delilah's not as bad, right?
No, it's not.
As Jezebel.
It's
No, it's
not as bad.
definitely not. And I guess. Do you think it's reclaimed? I don't know because I don't want to insult because I feel like there could actually be people
I don't know,
named
dude. I
Delilah
don't
who would watch the show.
I think
Delilah.
I've
Your
only
name is Delilah, by the way. If your name is Delilah, just no, that's it. Cancel it. I just read Strong's. It's Delilah. So just so you know, just
Yeah,
don't use your own name wrong. And then if anyone asks what that is, be like, oh, it's Delilah. But I'm
yeah.
pronouncing it right. No, you need to pronounce it right.
Yeah, so yeah, because you checked the Hebrew. So you can tell her, listen, I checked the Hebrew. It's Delilah. Okay. Um what was I wait, what was the question again? What were you
Yeah,
gonna say?
it's not the same, right? What do you think? Is it the same as Jezebel?
I don't think it's the same. I don't know if it's popular either. I think I've only known one Delilah, and that just happened a few years ago. I don't know. How
Well,
about
you know
you?
that
I
song, right?
just
There's that song, that famous song.
oh
That's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
why Delilah? That one.
Yeah, there's that one. I mean, I've only known one Delilah. Um I guess for me, when I hear that name, I just think about Samson. Now, I can't help but
Right.
think about what happened with Delilah and Samson. So, I don't know. As a
Yeah.
believer, is it a good idea? Like, you think Christians should? No, forget it. I'm not going to ask that question.
Well,
But
at the very least, Delilah isn't written about in the Book of Revelation as a warning to the churches about the spirit of Delilah. So there's not that, and I never
it's
hear
a
in the
good point.
church, right? Oh yeah, she's got a spirit of Delilah up to her eyeballs. That's not something I hear.
Mm.
ever.
Yeah, let's not talk about eyeballs and Samson. It's just not right. So
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, then that's a wrap. That's all we got. I love these videos personally. I hope you guys watching like it too. Please leave a comment, subscribe, like the video, or hit the dislike button. I guess. Is there a dislike button? I don't even know.
there is a thumbs down button. So
Yeah, you can only press it once though, or I guess you could make multiple accounts and keep pressing it if you want. I guess that works too. But I think that's against YouTube terms of service. Just saying.
yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, talk to you all soon.